Tonight we conclude our week-long series focusing on American troops on the front lines overseas. Remember, the U.S. military is operating hundreds of bases around the world. This evening, national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin on U.S. involvement in Somalia and the Philippines.
6 weeks after hundreds of ISIS fighters seized the southern town of Marawi, taking Roman Catholic priests and others hostage, fighting still rages with the Philippine army. President Rodrigo Duterte sent the military in and declared martial law, he says, in an effort to weed out the extremists. American special forces are now advising on the ground, and U.S. aircraft fly overhead.
ISIS is trying to gain a foothold in the Indo-Asia Pacific, and I think it behooves all free nations to take a stand and play a part in defeating ISIS.
The U.S. pulled its forces out of southern Philippines in 2015, a hotbed of Islamic extremism, after U.S. Green Berets, Navy SEALs, and the Philippine military crushed Abu Sayyaf, the local al-Qaeda branch. The rise of ISIS in Southeast Asia and Africa has coincided with its losses in Syria and Iraq. Criticism by U.S. officials of President Duterte for human rights abuses last December nearly led him to expel all U.S. troops.
So, bye-bye, America.
The U.S. currently has 800 military bases overseas. A new book, Base Nation, argues such a large military presence may fuel anti-American sentiment. Quote, I think it's worth thinking for American audiences to think about how it would feel to have foreign troops living next door, occupying your land with tanks. Yet countries keep asking U.S. forces to help. In Somalia, American troops have returned for the first time since pulling out in 1994, after 19 American troops were killed in the battle for Mogadishu. In May, a Navy SEAL was killed fighting alongside Somali forces during an operation against the al-Qaeda affiliate al-Shabaab, which nearly downed a civilian airliner last year and contributed to the DHS ban on laptops on some flights coming to the U.S. Former U.S. Army Ranger Matt Eversman's efforts in Somalia 24 years ago were documented in Black Hawk Down. U.S. forces were ordered to withdraw after the fierce battle, which began on October 3, 1993.
For our strategy to change overnight on October 3rd and 4th, that leaves a horrific, horrible, bitter taste in my mouth. It makes the bile in my stomach rise, and you can't help but reasonably ask, why did we do it in the first place?
The Pentagon expects to have troops deployed in these trouble spots for decades to come. As Defense Secretary James Mattis has warned, we have seen the results of leaving ungoverned areas too soon. Bill?
Good reporting all week. Thank you, Jennifer Griffin here in Washington. If you missed any of her reporting on the front lines this week, you can see them all online at foxnews.com/special report.